Thanks for joining us on Key Factors, presented by theraceguide.com.au. Stu Rich and Mike Wood here to take you through the big meeting at Royal Randwick this weekend. We've got the quaddie legs coming your way. We've got best bets, value bets as well, the $100 hot seat later on in the show. Welcoming in our chief analyst, Mike Wood. Mate, since Wednesday, these fields came out. Twitter's been exploding. This is a big day. How are you feeling coming into this? It's been a big week.
Well, it's good to be with you on a Thursday night, Stu, but what about these fields? Where do these fields come from in the middle of winter? A 2,000-metre benchmark 3-year-old race in race 6, I think it is.
Yep.
Almost a maximum field. Benchmark 77 to finish off the day. That lower grade race, that gets a maximum field as well. Can you believe it?
Yep.
And the McKell Cup sandwiched in between. That's not a bad race either.
No, that is a pretty good one, Mike. And some juicy quaddie legs in there as well. I'm expecting some big things, a lot of value in this show. Go back to the end of last year. What was that one at $51? Don't tease me.
That's the one. I
you
love
got
that
home, and you got a nice $10 home at $10 winner home, I should say, up in Queensland last week. Now, for the viewers, that wasn't obviously part of the quaddie, Mike, but anything sneaky up there north of the border this week where the carnival is?
I knew you'd ask me again after coming through last week. What a big win that was. There's a couple for Brisbane this week as well. Had to have a look at the card. What a great Group 1 card it is. Another $1 in the Oaks. I think she can beat the favourite for Waller, the other Waller runner. And Parast in the last race at Doomben, he's flying this prep.
Okay, they look to be the last two races up there. And Mike, speaking of the last two races, we were lucky enough to get out to Mudgee last weekend. We got there for the Guri Cup day and it was fantastic. How well do they do it? These country race meetings, that really is the soul and blood of Aussie racing, isn't it?
So glad we went. What a beautiful afternoon. What a beautiful race club, the little tiny mounting yard. Everyone gathered around, a really country feel, a really community feel about that race day. We managed to jag the winner in the last race, and the young jockey from China, Qin Yong, I think he's called.
Yep.
We were those louts over the railing giving you a big cheer home. Thanks for the 8-1, mate.
Yeah, look, in the footy jerseys, NRL was out there. It was a fantastic weekend. Pity your Raiders didn't get up, Mike. But look, that's going from the bush, and we're back to the big smoke this weekend at Royal Randwick. So that's where we're going to start with the first leg of the quaddie. It's the Wilson Asset Management Handicap over the 2,000 metres. It's a benchmark 79 for the 3-year-olds. And this is one of those bigger fields we talked about, Mike. Plenty of depth on paper here. 6 last start winners in the race. Chris Waller, I think he's got 7. A few of them go all right as well. And speaking of going all right, Claire Cunningham, she's absolutely flying. And she's got Savvy Ken lining up after a big Canberra win.
Yeah, she's flying, isn't she? She's a great young trainer. Good for conditions. The edge off, we think, on Saturday. Maybe fair to offer hours bias. We're changing it up in key factors over the winter. We're going to talk about these 3 key factors once on the show tonight. And we're going to play the same key factors in every single race because they're the biggest ones, putting it simply. Progression, which includes scope, stage of prep and trainer. Distance, other stage of preparation, which horses are suited. And a good for Randwick. We're pretty sure that's the conditions we'll get on Saturday.
Okay, so plenty of progression here at key factors as well. Let's get stuck into it then. The first leg, we'll have a look at the market. And Live and Free continues to be supported. $2.80 into $2.60 today. What a win that was last start. All two Huing out to $8 there. There's Merivee at the 8 line as well. Savvy Ken after that big wing in Canberra, as we said, $9. Then out to Turnberry, Ombudsman, a little bit of support there, Mike, but Live and Free, they keep coming for this one, $2.80 into $2.60 today.
Yeah, there's got to be every reason to back this horse after its last start win. And these 3-year-olds, they're progressing all the time, their form ratings are changing all the time, and we didn't think this horse was going to do this last start. Watch this replay and admire this run. It had the box seat run, it had the right trail off a slow tempo race with a long sprint, but beautifully ridden, comes up the inside and puts a massive margin on them, Stu.
It was under a good hold there till about the 300, wasn't it? Then away he went. Look at this. I just love the margins this horse puts on them, as you said. A horse is going places, I say.
Yeah, there's winners behind it, so the form lines have been stamped. Obviously, Merivee, bit of a boom horse, but safely held in 4th there. It was a very different race to what it'll face on Saturday, though, but you can't deny a great win.
No, fantastic win. And that man, Chris Waller, he's always got a horse that's going to threaten in a race like this. And we're looking at Ombudsman here, Mike. We're going back to Hawkesbury. This is 1800. You can see the horse just starting to peel out wide here. This is a good win as well, another by a length.
Yeah, it's a fantastic win. I mean, the form ratings are not particularly strong. The time was okay. The horses behind it hadn't won for 10, 11, 12 starts, so it didn't beat much. But we talked about it before. 3-year-olds on the way up, you're looking for certain things. Can they stay? And this horse absolutely finds the line. And is he a genuine racehorse? There's no other horses around him, and he still wants that line, doesn't he?
2 replays with 2 huge margins there, Mike. We love seeing that here on Key Factors. Okay, it's Key Factors time, so let's have a look at the form now. Then we're going to get stuck into those 4 key factors, as you said. Take it away, Mike. We're looking for the gold bars.
No points for guessing. Pretty simple analysis. Live and Free, big gold bar, but Savvy Ken with some group form from 2 starts ago, he's not too far away.
Well, there he goes, live and free, right out in front as we get this race started. Looking into progression, Mike.
Yeah, progression, you base it partly on data, partly on gut feel, don't you? Which horses do you think have the biggest upside? Live and free obviously can improve again after that big improvement last start, but plenty of others have upside as well.
Okay, a few making a little move, but it's live and free out in front. Distance at the stage of prep, importantly.
Yeah, the trainer loves it up in distance. We think live and free will love the 2,000 metres as well, but Ombudsman 1,800 metres to 2,000, he should be suited too.
Okay, live and free, way out in front here. Could this be a big moral, Mike? Good for Randwick.
Well, just looking across the pages, not much Randwick form and not too many horses that are definitely Randwick types, but if you look deep into your form guide, Ombudsman's been there once before, I can't even say his name, and he should have won over 1,400 metres.
Well, the lonely gold bar there for Ombudsman. Let's see how that pans out in the end. Look, 2 of these really big winners, Mike. This field is really, really stretched out. Time for a bet here, $2.80 into $2.60. The money's come. You've mentioned maybe a couple of little risks there, but looking down the page there, what's going to jump out of the ground and beat this? This is just looking like a good thing, isn't it?
Well, it could be a good thing, but so many risks. I think in these 3-year-olds, the form lines can change. It could take a step back. It could take a step forward. Any of those horses could improve 2, 3, 4 lengths on Saturday. So you don't 100% know what's going to happen with these lightly raced types. But on what they've done so far, you've got to go live and free. John O'Shea's come back to training on his own, and he's obviously going well. He likes this horse. I think he can improve, and we'll go for that Waller runner for the value bet each way, 11 to 1.
And that runner is Ombudsman.
That's the one.
All right, there's a look at the first leg of the quaddie. Onto the Fujitsu air conditioning McKell Cup, Mike. It's for over 2,400 metres. It's a handicap for all comers, and our Century, wow, took a big leap for Kim Moore to win second up. He's a 7-year-old with only 14 starts, can you believe it, under his belt. Old Tough Nuts, Ecuador and Destiny's Kiss, they're right in the race as well. And they're 8 and 9 years old, can you believe it? Then there's the 4-year-old mare, Lavani. Well, she's going to feel like she's just turned up for the pensioners class race, isn't she?
She might do, mightn't she? And there's a few stories, a bit of drama in this race, isn't it? Is this the last winter for some of these older stayers to get a win? Listed race, 2,400 metres, steady to fair tempo. It might be a bit stronger for Ecuador. There's a couple that could go forward, good for, and a fair to off-rails bias. And we talked about those key factors before, so we're not going to go through them again.
No, we won't. We can go straight into the market though, Mike, and we can see the money that just continues to pour in our Century. $3.60 that was about an hour ago, I reckon. Into $3.20 now with the tab on Thursday night. Ecuador, $3.70 there. Naval Warfare, $5. Destiny's Kiss, another old boy, $8 there. Lavani and the Getaway 10s. But, Mike, this is some good money now coming in for our Century. Are the punters on it?
Yeah, decent money and maybe some of our money. We'll see the tips soon and see which horse we like. Let's have a look at them last start. The 2 favourites, Our Century and Ecuador, did battle over 2,000 metres at Rosehill Gardens, so a very similar form line. This is the day that Kim Moore pulled our pants down and got our money. She had a big plunge on this horse second up. We missed the key factor of stage of preparation. We didn't see that progression second up. It was so strong over the finish over 2,000, wasn't it, Stu?
It was. I mean, you've got to expect that from the ex-Team Williams horse as well. But Kimmy Wool, all credit to her. She said this horse going places, and this is just a good win.
It's got second up 2,400 metre form against Hartnell. So it's definitely a stayer, and it should love the distance on Saturday.
Well, speaking of 2,400, Mike, let's just have hone in on this horse, Our Century, because third up last preparation. Okay, we are looking at a heavy 10 here, but this was a great race, running away with Big Duke. That's some serious form lines.
It's some seriously good form lines. You look through the form for this horse and you see some listed level runs, but they're just not normal listed level runs. They're really strong sort of spring level form lines. This is a Group 3. This is against a horse called Big Duke. He wins the race but loses it on protest. Just veering out there. Imagine the odds.
Yeah,
Big
wow.
Duke could be in this race on Saturday. He'd be odds on.
How good's that margin back to third?
It is 9 or 10, I think. I think I backed the third one. No chance.
All right, well, look, there's a little look at Our Century. Among a few others there, Mike, but the form and the key factors, that's going to see if this horse is going to be a good thing or not.
Let's have a look. Our Century and Ecuador, because of the weight swing, despite the fact that Our Century won, they've got a very similar form rating on Saturday. Light them both up.
Okay, so Our Century and Ecuador, the 2 favourites, lit up there. As we get into the key factors, Mike, progression.
Yeah, factoring in scope and stage of preparation, which horses can improve. Destiny's Kiss getting fitter, can improve. Our Century third up as well. A bit of upside for him too.
Okay, so Gold Our Century just edging ahead there. Distance at stage of prep.
Yeah, Ecuador's won over 2,400 metres before, but it was leading at a steady tempo. If we were sure it was going to be a steady tempo on Saturday, we would give him a gold bar, but we're not sure. Our Century loves the 1.5 miles.
And it's just gone ahead again. What about a good 4 Randwick? Do any of them make it any ground here?
9-year-old Destiny's Kiss loves the track. He'd love a bit of rain as well, wouldn't he?
He sure would. Mike, our Century, clear top raider there, very well exposed all this form, isn't it? Him and Ecuador, we know them. But having a look at these ratings, we've got a 7-year-old on top, the 8-year-old in behind, the 9-year-old in behind there. I mean, Kim loves this horse. You're saying you love this horse. I love this horse. Are we just loading up at the 3:30?
Yeah, you picked it, I think, Stuart's exposure, isn't it? The 3-year-old race with similar ratings, but you just got that little bit of risk. You're not quite sure what those young horses are going to do.
Okay.
These horses are older. They've got miles under their legs. We've got a good, strong 2-length margin. We know how strong this horse is over 2,400 metres. He's a big bet for us. Our Century, the best bet and the value bet. We think he'll just win on Saturday. Maybe check the yard if you're a little bit concerned.
Okay.
But third up for Kim Moore, we think he'll win.
All right, nice confidence there in the second leg of the quaddie, the McKell Cup. Stick around and we'll wrap up legs 3 and 4 at Royal Randwick after the break. Welcome back to Key Factors, presented by the raceguide.com.au. We're up to the third leg of the quaddie at Royal Randwick this weekend. It's the Manshake handicap over the 1,100 metres. It's an open handicap for all comers. And, well, 2XS comes here off his very big Scone win. We've got the non-winner, I Thought So, back to the races. The tough girl, Samantha, one of your favourites, Mike. We know how much you bang on about this girl at Royal Randwick. And look at Widgie Turf. We've got Pecans. They're surely in the mix, but they might be on their way to the Stradbroke or something like that, Mike.
Yeah, they're definitely on the way to the Stradbroke. And back to 1,100 metres, is it just a warm-up run for them? A handicap, open handicap, so some really strong sprinters and a strong to fair tempo. If Sweet Serendipity lines up and speeds to the front, good 4 conditions we're pretty sure about and a fair to off-rails bias. And the 3 key factors, like we keep saying, they're consistent now.
All right, that's what we want to see. Let's have a look at the market now, Mike, because we need to have a bet in this race. I Thought So heads the market here, $4 2XS off that massive win, as I said. That's going $4.40. Out to Widgie Turf and Pecans. Now, these are the two that have actually blown in the market, and I Thought So and 2XS have both been very well backed, in from about $6.50. So these two horses going one way and the other two going the other way, Mike.
Let's have a look at those two horses and see why the market likes them, starting with 2XS last start. For the absolutely flying Tracy Bartley stable, he said he was flying in his track work leading up to this run. He comes from midfield, he comes wider, and he wins. He
wins and does it in style, Mike. We were on it this day as well as Glenelg, but that missed the jump. Now, Mike, this is just a big win. Tracy Bartley, as you said, absolutely flying. Love to see some stats there.
Yeah, he's in really good form. I think he's won sort of almost half his recent starts, and good dry track, 1,100 metres, a genuine, reliable, consistent, powerful sprinter. There's no way you can knock this horse.
OK, well, there's a look at one of those new favourites. And, Mike, let's have a look at I Thought So, because we're going to go back now to the 16th of September here. Now, this is a race where this horse was just wide the whole race and a really tough performance.
Yeah, back when he was with David Pfeiffer, so you'll see, I think, different owners coming into this preparation and definitely a different trainer. Peter and Paul Snowden take over. He's won his 2 trials coming into this prep. He was wide this day, but he was first up over 1,200 metres, and he has got a little bit of a reputation for peaking that last 50 or 75, which he does here. But he's a really quality horse, isn't he, Stu?
Yeah, look, had a little look there, but look, I thought that was gritty enough performance. A good one to have a look at for a replay, being first up into this race after a few trials. Well, let's get stuck into it all, Mike. We've got the form and all the key factors to get through for this third leg of the quaddie.
Yeah, really good, strong sprinters, good, strong, informed horses. 2XS after that massive win. You've got to just give him the gold bar, though.
It's only a very small edge as we get the race started, though, Mike. Progression.
Yeah, we include trainer and progression, horses with upside because they're in the right stable. I Thought So with the Snowdens. You've got to give him a big, big kicker. He's trialling so well. And 2XS for Tracy Bartley. He hasn't found the bottom of him this preparation yet, obviously.
OK, so the favourite's kicking away there. What about distance at the stage of preparation?
Yeah, 1,100 metres first up for I Thought So. A horse that can peak the last 50 metres is perfect. That's why we light him up.
OK, well, these two are just edging clear now, Mike. Good for Randwick. Does that give us the winner?
Yeah, the favourite's OK. The Randwick form's fine. Dalcello quite likes it. Samantha, she would have got a big, big kicker at Randwick if it was a soft 5 or soft 6 or worse. But unfortunately, it's just a good 4 for her. OK, so we've got a new trainer here for Snowden. We've got Tracy Bartley absolutely on fire. We've got a couple of horses that you're saying might be a risk, and 1,100 might be a positive for a couple of others. Pretty much 4 horses in the market here, Mike. The market's already moving. A lot of positive energy here for I Thought So and 2XS. And judging by that, they look like they're well on top for us. Yeah, the market's just moving in the way of the ratings base. I think the bookies got it wrong. I wish I was looking at the odds on Wednesday. They simply got it wrong. There's 2 standout chances, unless the rain comes, Samantha's in the mix. Perazada just a little bit wide to be in the mix, I think. So take your pick. We're not going to put you off 2XS. We talked about it before. They're both each way bets to nothing. They'll both run on the top three. We'll go I thought so each way as a value and a best bet, but they might run the Quinella as well.
We like them both, but it's I thought so there in the third leg of the quaddie. And wrapping it up in race 9 is the Anthony DePro's Memorial Handicap over the 1,400 metres. It's a benchmark 77 for all comers. And look, great to see this race named in honour of a true Moree legend who did his best work raising money on the track and also on the golf course for kids with cancer through his golf group, the Moree Desperates. And looking at this last race, Mike, maybe it's the punters that could seem desperate because this is a very, very tough race, a real mix of trainers, a big field, and only one last start winner, I think, in the race.
Yeah, one word to describe this race. Wow, what a massive field. I've only just finished the analysis 15 minutes before the show started. I'm still sweating. Benchmark 77, 1,400 metres with a fair tempo. It's a big field. And we talked about those conditions and bias. The off-rails bias, if it does come, it should come late in the day. OK, so watch out for that there on Saturday. Let's have a look at the market now for the Get-Out Stakes. It is the last leg, and wow, look at this. We've got a big betting race here. Beacon, $5 the field. Fierce Impact's the one they've come for today, $8.50 into $6. Schubert there with a little bit of Beacon form, $7.50. Cool Vinny, wasn't that horse unlucky last start? $9. Sparky Lad, $9.50. Volpe, $10. But Mike, looks wide open here in the last. Could be the Get Out Stakes. Yep, and you just have to show 60 seconds or 45 seconds of footage, whatever it is, to see exactly why it's such an evenly matched race. Look, so many horses come through this 1,300 metre benchmark race at Warwick Farm a couple of weeks ago. We've highlighted a few of them, but there is way more in the field. Reby Rampart near the pace fighting on pretty well. Schubert with the white cap and the Godolphin colours kicking back late to win, and Beacon putting in an almighty sprint down the outside, Stu.
Well, it's a classic case here of just which sort of runner here do you want to take? You know, is it the boys in blue down the outside? Have they got more progression? Are you looking inside? Tough Reby Ramparts, but look, they're all hitting this line together.
Yeah, Fierce Impact, ridden for luck up the inside for Matty Smith, was really strong late, but only 1,400 metres second up. Maybe he wants further already.
I didn't see too many hard luck stories in that race, Mike, but I'll tell you who did have one last start, and that was Cool Vinny. So if you were on it, you might want to look away here.
Well, we were on it. We can't look away.
In the blue hat, yeah, you're right. We can look at it again, though. Blue hat absolutely gets crunched in a minute.
This horse is flying. We are pretty sure he's going to be backed on Saturday. He was really strong 3 starts ago, and listen to the horses he ran third to. Princess Posh, who was a moral beaten last Saturday, and Bonami, who's obviously in fantastic form. He went to the Provincial Championships final and got absolutely no luck for 300 or 400 metres. And we don't need to tell you what happened in that race because that was awful watch.
Oh, I don't like watching those sort of races, Mike. But look, that's the last race of the day. Let's get stuck into it. Form and key factors. The punters want a winner in the last.
Yeah, we're rating him on 3 starts ago for good reason. Light up Cool Vinny. We reckon he's got the best form.
Got the best form, but there's a few horses sniffing here, Mike. Progression.
Yeah, looking for horses with upside. Fierce Impact, you've got to say he's got upside for Matty Smith. Playard, up in distance, getting better all the time. He's got upside too. OK, well, looks as though there's plenty in this race, Mike. Distance at stage of prep. Yeah, Playard was well backed at Scone last start. I think the trainer and the stable knew that he's going to love the 1,300 metres. The 1,400 metres could be even better for that horse. OK, what about a good 4 Randwick? Is this going to help us? Well, I think Fierce Impact, the big swooping stayer, will like it. Schubert will like Randwick as well, but we're just guessing it's pretty evenly matched. It's a bloodbath. The 4 top raiders. We've got the quaddie killer here, Mike. This is a really, really level field. Who's going to come out on top here? I mean, this is where the punters, look at them at home. They're having a look here. 1, 2, 3, 4, all together. You've just done all this analysis, as you said. You've just finished. This has got to be a field job for the quaddie. Well, it could be a field job, or you could just play a few angles, couldn't you? Obviously, with so many horses with similar form lines, punters at home will know it sometimes can be value to back the form lines that are different, because one of those form lines show up, you'll get the win and you'll get them at good odds. Cool Vinny, we've talked about him a couple of times before. He's one of the equal top raters. He's big odds. He's a great each way bet. We think he'll be flying home late. If it's a swooper's day, he's a great bet for sure. And Playard from the inside barrier, up in distance, we think he's a play as well. And Screamer, he's massive odds. He almost got the value bet. All right, so Cool Vinny to get a bit more luck, hopefully, on Saturday. I reckon that might be a nice wide end of the quaddie there, Mike. So let's have a look at it now. Some confidence here earlier in the day. I see our Century standing one out, but going wide enough in the last. I love this quaddie. $100 for almost 300%. We thought it was going to be such a tough day, but I just love the way it shapes up. Live and free, along with a couple of value bets there. We think they're the 3. All 3 of those horses won by a massive margin last start. Our Century is the moral of the day. Race 8, those 2 sprinters will Quinella it. And race 9, we've gone for 3 out of that 1,300 metre race and 3 with different form lines. Cool Vinny and Playard the bets for us. 278%, Stu.
Moral of the day, and those two sprinters will Cornella it, and I love this quaddie.
I love it. I love it to bits. It's going to get up. Just get it on now.
That's good confidence, mate. What about the $100 hot seat? We slipped a little bit last week, but we're still in profit, Mike. I can sense a lot of positiveness here for our century, and I can see it right there.
Yep, the kickback and the comeback is on the cards. $50 to win our century. We could have put more on if we were allowed to. 25 and 15 for those two sprinters in race 8. And Cool Vinny, even though it's an impossible race, we talked about that horse. We've got to chuck $10 that Super's way.
You could have had the full 100 if you wanted to.
Maybe I will, but that's up to me on Saturday.
It is. Well, look, there's a look at the quaddie legs for Royal Randwick this weekend. It's going to be fantastic. It's Mikel Cup Day. Head to theraceguide.com.au for all your profiling needs. Plenty of these horses can or can't get through Randwick conditions. So we're going to see you there on Saturday, and that's all from us. We'll see you again next week.
Cheers, good punting.